Alrighty guys, how's it going? Nurbo here. Hope everyone's having a good day. I am back with the news. So, really quick, I'm running a little late. I was running a little late because of good news. My fan, I discovered a couple days ago, I think I mentioned this on stream. I discovered a couple days ago that one of my fans on my case for the computer was not working. Which is not good because you kind of need that airflow. So I bought new fans, and even upgrade. Got like some high powered, high RPM fans. And so I did a little testing and everything, and I think I can finally use the FSR on my graphics card, which is nice. Uh, so yay! Upgrades are great, especially when they're small upgrades like that and like not expensive, and they fix so many problems. But yep, we are here. We are going to start today with the news. We're gonna jump into it really fast, and so that we can try to get as many trailers in as possible before roughly 35 minutes from now when Cooge and Zombie come on for some Windblown. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. How's it going, Blue? How's it going, Chad? What about a GPU? I did a GPU. I bought a GPU last year. I want to say last year? Yeah, I want to say last year I bought the GPU. I want to say it's been about a year. And it's a good GPU. It's good enough. And the problem was that, like, even after installing it, I couldn't use it to its full capacity because it would just overheat. And possibly because of that one fan that I didn't realize was busted that whole time. Also because the fans that are in there were probably not as strong as the ones I put in now, and that makes a huge difference. Like, yeah. So, it was a huge difference because, like, I went from basically running Helldivers on performance mode with FSR off and hitting temperatures of like 60, close to 70 Celsius. To now running FSR and hitting running FSR and running it on balance mode instead of performance mode. So it looks a little bit nicer on top of it, and it was running very smoothly with FSR on and hitting like temperatures like 64 to 57. So great, huge difference to say the least. I actually have some statistics here. The cool thing about AMD, I imagine NVIDIA does this because now they have the new NVIDIA app. They probably do this stuff too. It's just that I switched to AMD before that. But I used to have everything locked to like a 60 frames. 60 frames. I used to have it locked. I didn't want to go over it because if you go over is when you start seeing high, your GPU starts to basically cook itself. So I kept it locked at 60 and I kept FSR off for the upscaling off. This like test I just did recently, which was about like 15 minutes long, I was hitting 99 frames. So good, very good. I also did the Destiny test, but Destiny's never given me a problem to begin with. And Destiny was doing fine. I kept Destiny locked at 60 though for the VSync, and with the FSR resolution upscaling, and it was perfectly fine. But Destiny's never really been that much of a problem. To be honest, I know some people have problems running Destiny, which I find strange because like Destiny is like, I'm not saying it's not a heavy game, but it's nowhere near as heavy as like Helldivers and stuff. So like, yeah, like I don't know. I find it funny that some people struggle with having Destiny running because it's really not a heavy game. I did notice with the upscale and everything looked way better. Like, holy crap, my Destiny looked so good. I could see the textures on the mountain across the way. It was like, wow, it looks so pretty. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. For Windblown, we're gonna see how Windblown performs. Apparently, you used to run it at 50 frames. Now I'm gonna have it set to performance mode. I do have my FSR. I will say this though, because I just don't want to push it too much. I always run on performance. Now, for any of you guys who don't know graphics well enough, performance mode is what you guys should push for, because performance mode is smoothness. You know, no frame skipping, none of that lagging. That's what performance mode is. I am the type of person that I prioritize that over anything. I want the smoothest gameplay I can get. I will gladly take a loss on some of the quality of the textures as long as I can have smoothness. So like I'm running FSR, but I'm running it on performance mode because I want it as smooth as possible. I'm addicted to AC Shadows. It's such a great game and well optimized. It's a very surprising thing. And I don't mean that like because Ubisoft. I mean that just in the sense that like a lot of games lately have not been greatly optimized. Although I will say the last batch have been pretty decent. Like the indie game was pretty good. Optimization, I didn't see many complaints about that. Like maybe companies are finally like trying to make sure it runs well. Because like Avowed also came out and it was not critiqued too bad on its performance. So you would judge my ass. So you're biased, Chad. Well, it's not even that he's biased. The problem with Chad is that Chad has a very particular way to play games, and that can be a problem with certain games. Chad is the type of person who mainlines games, is not a huge fan of puzzles too much. He's very like straightforward. I'm gonna beat the boss. I mean, the best example I can give you is Chad is more of like your, I'm gonna go and play like Stellar Blade. You just mainline the story, not too many puzzles there. Like that's a perfect example of what I mean. Like Dark Souls type game where like he just runs through the game. Chad does get salty though when the game is very, very difficult, but he will still play through it all. Like he still played through all of Black Myth Wukong, even with all the salt. So Chad's got a type of game that definitely suits his style more. No, I play puzzles. You're not a big fan of them though, Chad. I noticed you're not a huge fan of them. Another good example would be like Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, you kind of have to figure out the pathway. It's not directly in front of you which way to go, and you got to like look for things. And you kind of fell off on that because you didn't like that too much. Those kind of games are not there. I'm not. Again, this is not a critique on you, Chad. This is what you like. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the type of way you play games and the type of game that you like to play. There's nothing wrong with that. Mainline the boobies. Is not a huge fan of fun and normal games. No, it's not that. It's just that he has a play style for sure, and like his play style doesn't fit certain games, and that can give him a bad experience. You know, there are many types of people that are like that. You know, like there's a lot of type of people that are like that, and that's a good example. Like for example, like someone who doesn't like shooters is probably not gonna have a lot of fun with shooters. You know what I mean? Like, it really depends on what it is that you like to do. Gigi, for example, he says he doesn't really play a lot of platformers. So like platformers can be frustrating for him, I imagine. We're playing Shrine and he's having a great time with us. But I imagine if he was playing by himself, he probably would have gotten frustrated a couple of times. You know, like it's just how it is. That day you judge me. Again, not judging you. I'm just saying, like, you definitely have a sort of type of game that fits your style a little bit better than some other ones. Like Silent Hill, I know frustrated you a bit. You actually got to the end of that, didn't you? Yeah, I'm actually surprised you did. All right, I am wasting a lot of time on this banter, so let's jump into it because we're not going to have a lot of time at this rate for trailers, and there's a lot of good stuff out there. So we're going to start off with Game Pass, and coming to Game Pass, we have 33 Immortals, which is out now. I think a couple people are playing it at the moment. Octopath Traveler 2, which is out now as well. Train Sim World 5 on console. Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island. Never heard of that one. Apparently it's out now as well. Interesting. Blizzard Arcade Collection will be coming out in 2 days. Atomfall will be coming out on the 27th. That one looks really interesting. It's getting compared a lot to Fallout and stuff like that for obvious reasons, but it looks really interesting. Then we have EA Sports WRC livery and content available now. War Robots Frontiers, Lancelot Rising, Apex Legends Gold Voidwalker Injector Weapon Charm. And leaving at the end of the month, we have MLB The Show 24, Little Gator Game, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Open Roads, Yakuza 0, Kiwami 2, Like a Dragon, Lamplighters League, and Monster Hunter Rise. That's a lot of good games that are leaving. Man, that sucks. Yeah, get it in before it leaves if you have your Xbox Game Pass. Definitely want to do that. Hey, Bouse, how you doing? Good to see you, bud. So, yeah, get those in before they're gone. Next up in the news, I beat Silent Hill 2, going to Silent Hill F. I mean, you got a while. That's not coming out anytime soon, I don't think. Silent Hill X. Not that you guys are serious. I played all of those already, thankfully, as far as for not being available where I am. Oh, it's not available where you're at? That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Next up in the news, we have more union talks. Workers across the U.S. and Canada are launching United Video Game Workers CWA Local 9433. It's a mouthful, I know. A direct join industry-wide video game union with the Communication Workers of America in partnership with the American Federation of Musicians. The launch will formally announce at the 2025 Game Developer Conference in San Francisco, California, the world's largest industry for video game professionals, where workers will be joined by other CWA members to launch this powerful new organization. Essentially, 2 organizations are joining to become one giant union. So, I need water. 1 second. I think I choked on my own spit. So, for short, the UVWCWA mission statement reads, as our mission is to take back our lives, our labor, and our passion from those who treat us like replaceable cogs, to empower our fellow workers, to link up arms with the laid off, with the freelancers, and with the disillusioned contractor, with the disenfranchised and the marginalized, with the workers laboring in visibility to keep this industry afloat. We are going to create a game industry that works for us, one that nourishes its talent and invests in its future, rather than constantly seeking short-term profits. We are the ones making the games, so we must be the ones that set the terms of how we work. Powerful statement. Powerful statement. Considering how much abuse gamers and game development has gotten over the years and how bad it is right now, I wish them a lot of luck. Yeah. I'm doing okay. Still a horrible class. Good vibes out to you, Bouse. Feel better, bud. Next up is a very interesting thing that was put out from the Ark people. I don't know if you guys play Ark. This was an interesting one. Recently, Snail Games USA revealed a new trailer for Ark Aquatica, an all-new expansion coming to Ark Survival Evolved. The chief developer behind the series, Studio Wildcard, distanced itself from the project on social media by directing fans to Snail Games, and it's clear why. The published trailer was little more than a generative AI showcase. Except for a few seconds of gameplay at the start of the video, it's glaringly obvious it has drawn blowback from the. It was glaringly obvious. It has drawn a huge blowback from the fans online. The entire content of the trailer revealed nothing about the expansion It's just a visual reel that shows janky AI exploring some kind of underwater theme world. If you guys haven't seen this, it's crazy. Um, they essentially put out a trailer, and I can't believe that they could even do this. That was completely generative AI. There was no actual gameplay, and well, outside the first few seconds, because they basically used when you launch Arc and your guy like wakes up and he looks at his wrist. That's all they showed in the beginning, and then after that, it's all generative AI of like this underwater theme stuff and people swimming and fishes, all really, really, really bad. None of it was actual gameplay. None of it was actual like anything to do with it, and they put it out as a trailer. It looks bad, man. It honestly looks like a scam type game thing. I don't know why they thought that was such a good idea, but yeah, the fans are pissed, and it's getting a lot of notice. Really stupid on their part to do something like that. I recommend checking it out if you haven't, though, because it's a pretty hilarious trailer. Next up, we have Square Enix in the news. Square Enix has been working to revive its Front Mission Mecha franchise with remakes of its earlier games. In addition, in 2022, they announced an entirely new game called Front Mission 2089 Borderscape, being developed by Blackjack Studio. Unfortunately, the game never came to be as Square Enix terminated the licensing agreement and canceled the game in October 2022, months after the game was announced. But years later, in 2024, Blackjack Studio released a game called Metal Storm, or in Japan, Mecharashi. The Square Enix says was developed using material created from its Front Mission licensing agreement and made by the same people. In a new lawsuit filed on March 13th in Seattle, apparently, Square Enix wants to force Blackjack Studio, which apparently is going by HK Tree in the lawsuit, to remove infringing game mechanics, visual designs, and other protected content. Basically, the game can't be released in its current state, Square Enix argues, because it is based off of its Front Mission intellectual property. It sent multiple DMCA takedowns notices to get the game removed from its storefronts, which it was removed on Steam, but is now back after counterclaims were submitted. Square Enix also said it's filed a lawsuit in the Japanese courts. In addition to the injunction to remove the copyright material, Square Enix is looking for $150,000 per infringement. Ouch. Curious what you guys think of this, because I really thought about this for a while, and it's weird. It's a really weird thing, because essentially they were making a game for the Front Mission thing. They were contracted to make a Front Mission game, which then got canceled by the licensees. And then they decided, hey, we have all this stuff. Let's just make our own mech series game. And so they decided, let's just use what we have and make a new game. Now, I get the idea that maybe you have to make some alterations to make it your own. Like, for example, if you were contracted to make a Pokemon game, and obviously you would not use the same Pokemon, you would just create new Pokemon, whatever, for your type of Pokemon-ish style game, right? That would make sense. I guess that's kind of where they're going with this, because it's they basically designed their own mech game, but they kept using the same stuff that was a little too similar instead of making their own type of mechs. Maybe that's what the problem is here. There are pictures here where they're doing comparisons, and there are some comparisons, I guess. And that's maybe where they messed up. Maybe they should have altered a little bit more of all of this. But at the end of the day, they created everything, right? Like they were creating the game. It's not like they stole. It's a weird situation because it's not the same as like they're just stealing it. I get what you mean. Yeah, like it's weird. Like this is a really weird situation because it's like I contract you to make a Pokemon game. You start making a Pokemon game. Oh no, we're canceling the deal. We're not happy with it. Kill the deal. And then you're like, well, we have all the stuff. Let's just make our own type of Pokemon game. And then it's like they get upset because you used Pikachu, which I understand that because technically they own Pikachu. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird situation. It's a weird situation considering like they own the rights to Pikachu, but technically like they're the ones who made the game. They're the ones that made everything. You know, it's a weird situation. It's a really really weird situation. This is where like intellectual property laws get really really weird. All right. Following that news, we have some nice news. In a recent Square Enix Japan news post commemorating the 30th anniversary of Chrono Trigger, the developer confirmed that the game has sold over 5 million units worldwide. Chrono Trigger received an enhanced DS version that added extra content. However, the PC is the only modern platform for the potential fans to experience the classic. Many are hoping for an HD 2D remake in the near future. Now, I know nowadays 5 million doesn't sound like a lot, but keep in mind that this is a really old game, 30 years old, and getting 1 million on like an old Nintendo system sales was like, wow. But nowadays games are so much more easier to get into people's hands that like 1 million doesn't sound like a lot. A game like, for example, not to mention games back then cost significantly less. You know, games didn't cost 100 million to make. For example, like Assassin's Creed Shadows, if they make 1 million or even 2 million in sales, it's probably not enough to make back all the cost that went into making that game. That's the irony. Where like a game like Chrono Trigger with 5 million units, they probably more than 10 times what they cost to make it. It's really that big of a difference. So 5 million is impressive, very impressive for that kind of a game, and for how old it is and all that. So congratulations to them, really awesome. I see that this last bit of news, I forgot to put the article, and I have some comments on this one. So hold on, let me get this up. So for our last bit of news, we have a disclaimer. Doesn't want to load the pictures. Weird. Well, I don't like that. There we go. Don't know why that took so long. MSN is being weird. So, you better watch your wallet, because there's a new way to catch them all now. Lego and Pokemon have announced a multi-year partnership to officially bring trainers and builders together for the first time. The upcoming Lego Pokemon set will serve as in 2020. It will hit shelves. Will hit shelves in 2026. So you got a whole year to save up your money, apparently. Lego hasn't provided details on whether it's going to get minifigure scaled Pokemon, large brick build models like the Super Mario Kart, or a combination of both. We can see a brick built Pikachu tail in the Lego teaser trailer, but it might not be an indicator of what the actual build set will look like. So we don't know exactly what it's going to be, but we have Pokemon Legos coming soon. This was actually brought to me by Lucifer. He's the one who brought this to my attention. I thank you very much for that, by the way. I also kind of want to put a disclaimer out there for everyone. I kind of curate what I talk about, and sometimes there are really busy news weeks. And some of you guys have sent me stuff, and I just don't have space for it because of how much there is, and I want to try to get to all the trailers we have. So keep that in mind. I will say this, though. Like, you guys all send me interesting stuff, and I kind of feel bad that sometimes I don't use it. So if you guys have news things that you guys want to share, not just with me, but with everybody, I have a news tab in my Discord where all of this stuff that I do goes there for people to read and watch trailers there if they missed out on this, or if they want to even see the summarization, which is what I call this, is me basically summarizing the articles and showing the trailers. You can even watch that. I post that up there eventually. You guys can post directly on there, and I highly recommend it. Because I might not use your stuff depending on how busy of a week it is. And this week was not very busy, as you guys can see, which is why I had room for this. Because or else I probably would not have used this. No offense, Blue. This is cool, but because there wasn't much news is the reason why I used it. Because this isn't really pertained to gaming in general. But this is really cool stuff. I'm offended. Don't be. Like, this is interesting. It's just that it is what it is. I usually do pick I usually do pick the things that I personally find more interesting, and that might not be the case for all of you guys as well. So if you have stuff like this, post it in the news thing instead of directly to me, because people will probably see it better, and I will definitely see it, and if I have space for it, then I can just grab it from there as well, you know? I just don't want you guys to send it to me and then it's like I don't use it. I feel kind of bad about that. That's the only reason why I'm putting that out there. So if you guys have articles, trailers you guys want to share, Chad's actually been doing that. Just post it right in the news thing, because that way I'll see it, and other people will get to see it even if I choose not to use it. You know what I mean? And it's not being just lost to the ether. All right, drinking water. Yeah, that's the only reason why I say that. But I do appreciate the article, and it is actually super interesting. It's just that, like, this was a slow week. If there was actual video game directly, more video game directed stuff, I probably would not have used this article. Is all I'm saying, and that would suck, because this is actually kind of a cool article to check out. That being said, we have like 9 minutes to try to squeeze in some trailers. Damn. Damn, that's not a lot of time. I know, and I have so many trailers I want to eventually get through. So without further ado, let's try to see how many we can actually squeeze into that 9 minutes. So I'm going to just jump right in, and we're going to show the first game, which is called, I think some of you guys might like it. It's really cute and adorable. Here is Tanuki Pawn Summer.
This is Pawn. He's a Tanuki. This summer, by order of the Tanuki god, Pawn has to restore the great Tanuki shrine. To do so, he needs to earn money. Pawn takes on the role of the delivery Tanuki, mixing hard work.
You might have played it too soon. They probably didn't fully connect at the time.
It's a busy summer for Pawn, but even Tanuki need to rest now and then.
Are you sure, Chad? Because, like, I feel like this is kind of like a Yakuza game where it's like just side quests galore. Like, I feel like people who are a fan of the Yakuza series would like this. I will say the theme song slaps. It's like the silliest theme song ever. Man, that's a slapping theme song.
Hope you'll enjoy the adventure together. Tanuki, Pawn Summer. Available on Xbox Game Pass later this year.
And PC. Alright. Next trailer, so that we don't lose too much time here, is a game called Tron Catalyst.
Cora. Back.
Get Infinite Nikki ready. You didn't like that,
grid
though.
has its heroes. The arc grid fractures into the glitch, but one program stands against that storm.
Thank you.
Exo. You. A hero is nothing without their grid. Exo fights for hers, against those who would tear it apart. She must escape core, but escape is not enough. A loop cannot be broken without a change in conditions. Break the loop program.
There you go. I don't know. I never really got into Tron, to be honest, which is surprising because everything about it seems like it's right up my alley, but I just never really got into it. This game, I believe, is out now. Here is 33 Immortals. I like roguelikes, but this also doesn't seem to grab my attention too much. I think it's because of the fact that it's like just too much. It's a roguelike with 33 players, and like it kind of matters how many people survive till the end. It makes a huge difference. So like, I don't know how I feel about that. It's 3 groups of 11. Yeah, I know it's 3 groups of 11, but like, I don't know how I feel about that. Because like, what if like only 10 people survive out of the 3 groups? Like, there's no way you're gonna get through the final boss. Next up is a game called Edge of Memories. This one actually looks really cool, and this is one that
pretty bad shape
I
right
got off of Chad actually. Chad actually threw
now. The
this into
corrosion
the
is
news
gaining
channel.
ground every day. I try to help people with their problems. It's my job. Yet, sometimes I surprise myself. Dreaming that all the world's problems would take the shape of a monster. One that I could beat right down into the ground.
Yeah, looks cool. This one came out of nowhere, honestly. Looks really cool though. Next up, like I said, we're just speed running these at this point. I did a bad. I did a real bad. Son of a bitch. There we go. There we go. Okay, I fixed it. Next up is a game called The Last Caretaker.
There was no guide for what we had to do, no manual for leaving a world behind. But even we knew we couldn't take everything with us. Some things were too fragile to follow. I left behind my greatest creation, a guardian, a caretaker. Its hands shaped to nurture, its heart programmed to protect. It works tirelessly now, crafting vessels from the bones of a broken world, sending sparks of life into the void. The task I gave it was impossible, but isn't that what hope always is?
Why does the sun go on shining? Why does the sea rush to shore? And oh, they know it's the end of the world. It ended when you said goodbye.
This game looks really cool. I don't know why, I get like some vibes of like Subnautica / like Raft from this. Next up is a game called Yasha, Legends of the Demon Blade. Might be our last one.
一体どんな妖刀なのでしょう。とどめ。進み続けましょう。サラのお出ましだ。地上の人間たちはほんと厄介だな。かかるぞ。一瞬だ。
虎大将、ここにあり。戦場よ、俺の登場だ。全部かかってこい。殿様、姫様。
もう一回。
面っぽくない。
主中の剣で棒を断ち切ります。百剣東洋伝来た。
There you go, and there's a demo. If you want to check that out. Are you alright back there, cat? I didn't get rid of the box, and now he's over there playing with the box in the background. I made a big mistake, and I left a box in my room. I like JRPGs with less titties. We might be able to squeeze one more. So let's do it. No, he's not there right now, sadly. He is playing with the box in the background. Because I made the mistake of leaving that box in this room, and now he's gonna be messing with it the whole time. All right, we're gonna squeeze this last trailer in. I'm assuming they're all getting ready at the moment. So here we go. Next game is called Pathologic Quarantine.
I have returned from a hell beyond your darkest nightmares.
Let us stay on track, Dankovsky. You abandon everything and rush to a distant town.
Yes, yes. To seek an immortal man. He was dead when I arrived.
Then a strange fever engulfs the town.
And as the sole physician, I declared a quarantine.
To keep others from interfering.
Interfering with what? I even established a hospital inside the theater.
Is that where you spread the sand plague?
Your records are absurd. I was trying to grant them one more day.
Yet your actions only hastened the town's downfall.
What exactly are you implying, Inspector?
No one is accusing you, Doctor. But consider, look at yourself. You failed. Utterly.
The plague mutated.
I've never played any of the pathological games.
It deceived me again and again.
But I imagine from what I've seen from this trailer, it seems like it's one of those like Amnesia style type games.
I am a doctor, a man of science.
I wonder if you
Could
still
went
know
live?
who you
Okay.
are. If you could begin anew, would you make the same choices?
Every decision I made was just. But something I would change.
If we're going by Tunch's timer, we got 10 minutes to squeeze in as much as possible. So, let's just keep it going. Next up is a game called Rainbreaker.
Rated T for teen.
We got a lot of roguelikes today, I just noticed.
Cannot be broken. You're a fool to even try.
This was not intentional, I promise you.
Hey, lady, come here.
I find you, I will shut you up for good.
Well, yeah, not intentional, but a lot of roguelikes today. Looks good. Looks good. I find it funny that everyone's kind of mimicking the Hades style of visuals. Kind of funny. Next game is a game called Post Trauma.
It's time.
Where is this? Where am I?
You're in the right place, but you won't like what you'll find.
Now, I don't know about you
You
guys,
think you can escape?
but this gave me like in the Silent Hill vibes.
I can try.
Yeah. Next up, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Because we can. It's a game that actually looked really, really cool to me. Here is, if you guys might remember this from the Game Awards, here is Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. Alright, next up, because we can still squeeze in a few more apparently, is gonna be, this game I believe just came out recently. Here is a game called Bleach, Rebirth of Souls. Literally played through the entire Bleach series again, if you wanted to. I'm a little pissed off that the most recent season of Bleach is a Hulu exclusive. I'm so pissed off about that. I think this is just bonus stuff, isn't it? Yeah, pre-order bonus and all that stuff. We'll just move on. Alright, this will definitely be the last one, according to Kuja's timer. Here is a game called Fuga, Melodies of Steel 3.
僕はメインを取り戻す。僕がメインを守るんだ。
マルト、お前が選ぶのはやはり世界の破滅だ。
This is the story of the children who rejected their fate and overcame despair.
僕たちがカイザーを倒してマルトを助けなければ。
もうこれ以上みんなを死なせたくない。私はずっとみんなを守る。
I've never heard of this franchise. It's the third game in the franchise. But after seeing the trailer, I'm kind of interested in checking out the first two games.
Return to the Terranus, evolve, and ascend to a new battlefield. Make full use of the new mechanics on the journey for truth. Turn the tides of combat like never before. Dive into thrilling and tactical battles. A child stands ready to perish by the soul cannon. As a last resort, that child will lay down their life so their comrades may forge on.
敵は消滅しました。
くそ、こんなはずじゃ。
The new Mega Soul Cannon.
Imagine that Tony Cole, we're all just here waiting and waiting.
It can ensure victory.
I'm gonna join right after this trailer.
Life.
I've been watching your timer. I'm purposely watching your timer so that I see how much time I got.
やれやれ。これまで見た中でも最悪の結果じゃないか。
I'm sorry. Oh, that reminds me. I owed
Take wing. Soar
a
beyond
gift
the
sub to
cycle
the
of despair.
channel, and it just so happened we had somebody new today show up that does not have a gift sub.
Unveil the source of the world's despair.
またな、マルト。お前たちはこのままやるべきことをやればいい。
これは僕が世界を裏切る物語だ。
Enter the battlefield of Fuga, Melodies of Steel 3.
I'm digging it.
On sale May 29th, 2025.
I'm digging it.
Available in deluxe and standard editions.
Alright. Let's go enter the call with these people. And, yeah. If you guys enjoyed that, I'm gonna have to throw that box out of here. If you can hear that. That is the cat losing his ish inside that box right now.